Yep.
I had a lot of parts, and I just found out about like production as I went on. I put like 100 hours into this in the past 2 weeks. And if I showed you all my work, it'd probably cover the chalkboard. And I still admit it's not professional. It's pretty good. It's all right. My only educational background is in the Bible, comic books. Not necessarily that order. I like my comics. I've been reading them since I was a little guy. I'm not really into the Hulk. My son is. This is all his stuff. I'm a fan of Conan, mainly Conan, and then that would be the Punisher, and then that followed with Lobo, and I'm just like into characters like that. And, I didn't really have a dad per se always at home, so the comic book characters became like my dad. You know, is what I pictured as a man. So everyone has different perceptions of what a man is. Mine was always like a big guy with muscles and, you know, being manly. When I got to college, I learned different words and found out the word misogyny and Greek history. I found out that's what I am, and I've been dealing with that.
What? Steve, I never knew.
Because
You're like a woman hater.
That character was developed because you know, my educational background. So by learning what I've learned, you know, through these courses, and I'm glad I've taken up the computer, because I just turned the computer on 2 years ago now. And, I'm catching on, and I think it helps to take the courses off of it. It also helps to take advantage of all the equipment that's available. I mean, not taking advantage is pretty stupid. You got millions of dollars worth of school here, you should utilize every bit of it. So when I see kids crying over typing 2 papers, I'm like, oh my goodness, get real. So, you know, when I'm in the workforce and I'm coming out of it back to college, and it's not a piece of cake, it's pretty hard. And, sometimes I feel quitting, but I get to meet different teachers that influence me, and I try to take it from square one. I started with a teacher up here, and got into prehistory and anthropology, and that developed me, and I went on to the Greek history, and I met her about a year ago. She probably don't really remember, but I crashed her class, and it was like this. They were putting on a show of showing Harry Potter, Doctor Who,
Yeah, that was it.
Loki, and the Loki story was really crazy about turning himself into a horse and sleeping with another horse and making babies.
Loki.
So it's interesting to meet all you guys and see what you bring to the table. I just felt these 2 guys were, you know, cut up some characters, and that's what I needed in my show. And so, like I said, my background is in the Bible. And so when I was reading accounts of Hesiod and Homer, or the Homers, that went on to Euripides, these Greek authors or poets would wait on the docks here in Athens. And at the time, you know, this was the known world around the age here. Down here you got Africa, here you got Egypt, you got the Judeo and Islamic people here, and Phoenicians, and this is Turkey, and the Baltic, and of course the Italian boot. And here you got the Greek islands. And what these guys would do is wait on the docks for Phoenician sailors that had the superior boats at that time. It's like they were the most seaworthy, so they were paid, you know, handsomely to transport goods and materials back and forth. They didn't really go across ways. They used to like to bump along the coast. I say bumped along the coast, they would meet different cultures. Down here, Egypt, Africa, you got the Judeo stories and Mesopotamian stories, Babylonian stories. And these stories would all be transported over here by these Phoenician sailors. And what happened was when these Greeks was waiting for these stories, they put a heavy reflection of these stories, making them Greek. So that's why you see so many similarities in these stories. My particular story was Euripides making an account of Hercules fighting death at Alcestis' grave as a girl. And he was doing this because he was helping his buddy, the king, Alcmene, I believe it was. And he told his buddy, he was drunk and braggadocious, I'll go out there and I'll make sure death don't take her from you. And so it's kind of like, did he really go to the underworld, or was he at the grave? And when they were fighting over the body, and the similarities reminded me of Judeo-Christian of Jacob wrestling with God. It was just basically the same principles, but switched. And so Euripides switched the stories up of Homer's and Hesiod's to make them more modern, because every generation seems to need a modern interpretation of something old. So that's what I'm trying to do here too, is bring back interest in the Greek myths through modern interpretation. And that's what I got going here. As you follow the circle, it goes from Greek to Roman, where they made Zeus into Jupiter and such. And then we get to modern interpretation that Miss Bailey was talking to us about today. What influences today's interpretations, and that's like, you got Thor and Marvel, the modern medium of comics, and now movies is really picking up on the old myths, and I think I'm just rambling on now, so I'm going to get on with the show. And I'm just trying to show that there's the similarities of cultures. We all share something. And the one thing I wanted to show that we all have in common, whether we believe in God or Jesus or Buddha or Allah or whoever, we all believe in death. I think we all know that that's in store for us. We're not going to live forever. So I just wanted to put something out there. And I know that at the time, it had to be a disturbing story. So keeping with that, I started a little bit disturbing. So I'll try to get quickly out of that because I'm influenced by something that happens to me just the other day, and that was your Roadrunner show. So I tried to cut out all the nonsense and make it more Roadrunner-ish. And so, here we go.
Music played on people's side, just for me, the church bells rang.
Oh, that's my part, right?
Now he's gone, I don't know why.
This part is going to be hard.
And to this day, some
How exactly did Bruce and Betty end up in the grave together? Was it genocide? Was it matricide? Was it infanticide? Or was it suicide? I'm afraid that I don't have any of those answers for you in this show, ladies and gentlemen. What I can tell you is this. For some time now, there has been some strange rumblings coming from the Banner's grave. And judging by the earth being pushed up around Bruce's tombstone, I think we're all in for a strange, macabre turn of events. It took 3 days and 3 nights of constant digging for Banner's 120-pound corpse to finally reach the surface. Upon reaching the surface, Banner's corpse was rapidly replaced by that of the green behemoth. Meanwhile, at the other end of the hollowed grounds, good old Mr. Death is about to make his inevitable grand entry. Moving from tombstone to tombstone, Death, the harvester of sorrow, can be seen, checking his dreaded list. He's apparently checking it twice, relishing his fiendish trade, making sure no tomb or stone goes unturned. Just as he begins to admire his handiwork, a greenish glow at the corner of his eye catches his attention. The glow coming from behind body of the tombstone raises an inquisitive brow on Mr. Death. He smiles to himself, thinking how long it's been since anything unusual has happened. The curiosity of it all is too much, and he must see to this foolish apparition that apparently playing around in Death's backyard. It's to say the least that he's shocked at the surprising sight of a large green man emerging from the vanished grave.
Let me see. And what do I have here? I have on my need-to-do list the pickup of one Bruce and Betty Bannon. But all that I see standing in front of me is one large green ball of gelatinous fat.
What'd you say to me? Chicken man? Oh, no fat, no stupid chicken man.
Never in all my years have I been so insulted. Listen, you big green dolt. I'm here to take Bruce and Betty with me. So if you wouldn't mind stepping aside, I'll kindly collect my prize and go.
Bruce not here, chicken man. Only home Betty not going anywhere with the chicken man.
Chicken man? Chicken man? Big dummy. You just call me chicken man? Do you even have a clue of what I am, fat boy? Do you have the slightest inkling of who or what you're dealing with here? You big green galoot?
No, Death. I'm afraid our green behemoth doesn't know who or what you are. Even if he did, the concept would elude his childlike mind. No, Death. I'm afraid you're dealing with a child's mind grafted to a body that could very well knock Mother Earth off its axis. So truck thee well, Monsieur Death. You're just about to earn yourself a one-way trip to the Holt Smash Zone.
Hulk's not a dummy. You a dummy.
Do you really think I'm just going to keep standing here having this wonderful conversation with you, Purple Shorts? Why, in the next second... Pow!
And without so much as a warning or threat, the green beast is all over Death. He begins pummeling Death with so many laps that you could hear Death crying for a few rights. The sudden attack catches Death completely off guard. Within moments, the green beast's relentless blows take on the appearance of a piece of paper caught in a windstorm or that of a frog in a blender.
Pow. Wham. Boom. Splat.
Maybe you should execute that trick.
Chicken man think you're so smart, huh? Chicken man not nice. Keep calling old bad names. Think you're a smart, chicken boy? Let's see chicken boy talk his way out of this ass kicking.
The monster's volley of blows is relentless. His fury is worked up to a fevered pitch. The bloodlust overtakes the whole. All traces of humanity are now gone. It looks as if Death has found himself caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. Before Death can recover from his massive onslaught, he's caught by a massive uppercut to his jaw. The massive blow sends Death hurtling into the upper reaches of our atmosphere. Momentarily unconscious, Death finds himself floating at the fringes of outer space. Still dazed and confused from the beast's attack, and the icy coldness of space helps Death to shake off the effects of the creature's violent attack.
Where's chicken man going? Hulk not playing with you.
This just can't be happening. Am I not Death incarnate? Doesn't that have any bearing on the situation? I am Death, plain and simple. Oh, ho, ho, ho. So you want to play games, big boy? Here you go. I got your games. Here comes the pain.
He looks down from high up upon the green machine. Slowly he begins to gather all of his might that is his. Then he taps into an infinite source of power. The hate and the anger of a million damned souls, now teeming with the vastly bonded new powers. Hulk powers hurls himself. Earthborn. His target, a large green golem of unbridled range of power. Look up, Hulk, because here comes the pain. The devastating attack on the giant looks like hell and giving birth to lightning. It says, if the fake Valkyries have been reawakened and once again unleashed on humanity. He comes down on Hulk like a neutron bomb. first of his aftershocks quickly reverberates across our planet. It only takes a few moments for them to reach the far reaches of our solar system. The destruction is across the board and cataclysmic. It's like it's weight dwarfs man's known perception of tragedy. It's so 2 billion sentient beings are blasted to including the inhabited existence. The survivors will have to grieve and mourn the whole continent of lost souls. As the smoke begins to clear, Death is suddenly made aware that he is not the only one still standing. His jaw drops wide in amazement at the sight of the green golem mountain of molten muscle emerging from the smoke and destruction.
Oh, big chicken man, it's like a girly boy.
Would you go by that?
There's no way. WTF?
To be continued.